News this evening, sponsored by Courts, bringing value home. Cousins feared dead at sea. Youths being questioned by police. How much longer must we wait? GTU presses government amidst protest by teachers. No official word on the escape of a prisoner from the lockups. Quiet checks being made to locate the escapees as a source. And collapse of bridge along the road to Lethem. Local contracting service executing repairs. HGP Nightly News begins now. Good evening to our viewers here in Guyana and online. I'm Travis Chase with the Tuesday, July 3 edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know this evening. Teachers from the South Georgetown District staged a protest on Tuesday at the Guyana Teachers Union, urging the GTU to press the government to urgently address matters of interest to the teaching fraternity. Rodin James reports.
Although representatives of the government, the GTU and other stakeholders were appointed to a task force to deliberate on and address several matters affecting the nation's teachers, some teachers, predominantly from the South Georgetown District, have expressed their frustration at the lengthy wait on the task force's recommendations by protesting at the premises of the union representing them, the Guyana Teachers Union. The teachers want the GTU to take strong action against the government, even if it means to urge members countrywide to step out of the classroom this final week of the term and withhold grades. The teachers' frustration was expressed by Chairman of the South Georgetown District, Corwin Mars.
The union prepared to tell us to wait. Let us wait and see what come out of the agreement. Note you that the agreement was supposed to sign by the end of this school year. School year ending, you could say Friday. Roughly Friday, despite that they say still August, but it's Friday. Let me say it's Friday. Teachers should have been calling. Teachers should have been given some amount of answers to things that would have gone long. 2011, the bunching money was supposed to be there. From date to now, nobody know what happened. The union went into agreement, asked them to give us half the amount of money, half the amount, and we can take that and give it to the teachers. They never respond to that.
Sir Mars, who led the protesters at the GTU hall, told media operatives that teachers are very frustrated over the matter.
And this union is sitting down. As I say it, they're sitting down. This is the time you're supposed to call out your members, get your members on board, and let's take a stand as the union. Teachers, this is where parents don't want to report. This is where chair want to know which class they're going. Records supposed to be finishing. This is the time. Call the people and let's get it. Let's move ahead.
In Mr. Mars' view, the GTU is as silent as the government on the matter.
Well, that is my intention because I am hearing from my union. I'm not hearing from them. And I'm saying it's time the union come out and say to teachers, this is what is going on. This is what we have planned. You understand? This is what we need. This is what is going to happen. Right? Look how long this task force do whatever. We just hear the task force went. It's sitting at Ministry of Finance. What's the union doing?
Mars said it is time all outstanding matters be ironed out.
And these very same teachers have to sit in the classroom and perform and give you that of your best, give of their best. And then all the ministers could say, oh, good comprehension result, good CXC results. And teachers, we must thank you. But nobody is saying, teachers, we see your pain and we're going to pay you, we're going to get your money. Nobody's saying those things.
Rodin James, HGP Nightly News.
Meanwhile, General Secretary to the Guyana Teachers Union, Coretta MacDonald, has expressed grave disappointment at the slothful manner in which the government is handling matters surrounding teachers. Here again is Rodin James.
A seemingly upset Ms. MacDonald told reporters on Tuesday that although the task force's deliberations went well on the matters affecting teachers, it seems as though the government is foot dragging on the matter, since the union has heard nothing other than Finance Minister Winston Jordan's receipt of the document. The task force was set up by President David Granger to investigate the matters affecting teachers and to find a way of addressing them.
Teachers are frustrated, and they would want to hear from this government how early they'll start receiving their benefits. You see, this all came about as a result of what happened last year, where our teachers going through the motion. As a matter of fact, let me say to you, we completed our agreement, the last one was 2015, and so 2016, 2017, there was no agreement in place. As a result of that, many of our teachers could not access the benefits that they were accustomed to accessing.
Ms. MacDonald said from what she has gathered from the teachers is that past and present administrations have both demonstrated that the government does not have the best interests of teachers at heart. The Guyana Teachers Union wants the government to act now on this matter, even if the administration cannot afford everything set out in the document. Teachers should be given something that is due to them.
I know that we've been making calls to various ministers, we've been writing letters, but these letters and these calls, they have not been yielding fruits. And so our teachers are saying to us now as their leaders, you have to say something to us or we know what to do. And so they're here and we are saying to the government, we don't want to hear any longer our document is with the Minister of Finance. We want to hear how early you're going to be completing that document and how early that agreement is going to be signed. We cannot continue to wait any longer for this agreement to be signed. Teachers have retired in 2015, 2016, 2017. Teachers are retiring in 2018 and they will continue to retire in 2018. What do we say to them? After teaching for 35 and 28 and 32 years, are you saying to them that they will now exit the profession without having their due rewards? It's not fair to our teachers.
Ms. MacDonald acknowledged that the matters affecting teachers are not new, but said better was expected from this administration, which had promised the teachers a better deal.
We were promised that within a short while, and we took short to mean short, that we would have had that document being addressed and the official signing off of that document so that our teachers can receive their benefits.
The GTU General Secretary pointed out that President Granger had recently sent a letter to the GTU confirming that the document is with the Ministry of Finance and that he would like to reach with them sometime. She said the GTU on a number of occasions by way of letter and calls to inquire about the document and got no response from the Ministry of Finance. So the next option she foresees is to bring teachers out to protest the Finance Ministry. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Royden. After the break, cousins feared dead at sea, youths being questioned by police, and no official word on the escape of a prisoner from the lockups. Stay with us. HGP Nightly News. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the HGP Nightly News. An North Rhineveld man who back in 2015 confessed to sodomizing and killing a 6-year-old boy was on Tuesday sentenced to 23 years imprisonment on the lesser count of manslaughter. Jeffon Vickery reports.
25-year-old Brian Bob Sample will spend the next 25 years behind bars without any chance of parole after pleading guilty to the lesser count of manslaughter. Bob Sample confessed that on April 14, 2015, he unlawfully killed 9-year-old Shaquan Gittins. The convicted killer throughout his trial had undergone a host of psychiatric evaluations. Government psychiatrist Dr. Biro Harry in 2016 deemed Bob Sample mentally fit to stand trial in the High Court. In a plea of leniency, Bob Sample's attorney Maxwell McKay expressed the opinion that it was impossible for a person of sound mind to commit such a criminal act. An autopsy report outlined that Gittins died of strangulation and drowning. There were also indications that the South Rhineveld youth was sodomized by the killer. Police say that on the day of the incident, Gittings was walking along the road when he was stripped down by Bob Semple and dragged into the backlands of South Rheinveld. It was reported that the man strangled the youth during sexual intercourse until he became motionless, and later in the evening, the body of the youth was dumped in a nearby canal. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Javon. Nothing forthcoming from the police on the recent escape of a prisoner from the East Rheinveld police outpost. Here are the details. There has been no official word from the police regarding the escape of 27-year-old Dane Marshall. Marshall had escaped from police custody almost 2 weeks ago from detention at the East Rheinveld police outpost on an allegation of robbery under arms. It is normally the standard operating procedure of the Guyana Police Force to release the information of a detainee who has escaped from lawful custody. That has not been done to date. A credible source, when contacted, said that the escape of Marshall had been reported to the top brass of the force. That source related that they may not have a mugshot of Marshall, but they are certain that they took his thumbprint. When Marshall spoke with Nightly News moments after he escaped from police custody, he spoke about that thumbprint our contact alluded to. Marshall claims that he did not give his thumbprint to the investigating ranks. So you said when you went to the police station, they started to put these allegations against you, including something to do with your thumbprint. Explain that to me.
Okay. Well, after I asked Sirabu if you're going to put a man in the lockup under this state, Sirabu words you're going to get medical attention. But when I asked him for my medical attention, they didn't want to give me. So when the thing, I'm in pain and this and that, then he tell me, man, I said, man, Sirabu, you can't tell me this. Then they carry me over, son. When they carry me over at East Rheinveld outpost, the next man, and I tell one of the police officers, she told me that I put some thumbprint saying that I don't want to go to the hospital. I never refused to go to the hospital. Them didn't want to come in the hospital because the two bike boys know what they did to me.
A top-ranking officer hinted to Nightly News that a failure to follow strict guidelines requiring the shackling of Marshall might have led to the escape and that an investigation is ongoing. Marshall claims it was the police who assaulted him, and that's the reason why they refused to take him to seek medical attention.
I show you well I in a set of pain and you still send me down to the lockups. Because you know why the police I end up now, I have to sign it's not the police beat me, because you know why none of them are going against one another. So I have to say, you know what, it's not the police beat me, I fall along and get these things. Because none of them are going against one another.
Marshall was booked for armed robbery, which he claims he's being framed for. He said he had a fight with a pedestrian when the police arrested him on the scene. Travis Chase, HGP Nightly News. A local contracting service aided by international experts is currently executing repairs to a bridge on the Linden-Lethem Trail that was damaged a few weeks ago. More from Javon Vickery.
The bridge which serves commuters on the Linden-Lethem route remains closed as repairs by a local contracting service is ongoing. In the photo seen here, the hazard of using the bridge in its current state is amplified. Minister within the Ministry of Public Infrastructure Annette Ferguson told reporters on Tuesday that the damage to the bridge has brought much discomfort to commuters. She stated that the contractors promised completion of the project by the end of this week.
We have international imports, a local constructing firm that is currently doing some repairs to one of the bridges. Just last evening, we got a situational report with respect to that, and the works are expected to be completed by Thursday of this week. Also, we were told that the Kupukari Bridge, I think we also have some difficulties there, and the Ministry of Public Infrastructure will be undertaken to have those works effected.
Minister Ferguson stated that a temporary mechanism was established to allow regular movement between Linden and Lethem.
What is currently being done is that we would have created a temporary bypass, right, so as to ensure that vehicles are unimpeded, right? So whilst we're correcting the bridge that is currently under repairs. So we have temporary arrangements in place to ensure that vehicles traverse the area unaffected.
The minister also acknowledged that the collapse of the bridge might have been due to inadequate maintenance.
Well, I guess it's basically routine maintenance. We would have to ensure that maintenance works are effected so as to avoid, these recurrences on an annual basis whenever the rainy period hits us.
Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Jevon. A horrifying story now. Fear has gripped the closely knitted community of Mosquito Hall, Mahaica, after two young cousins are feared dead at sea. More details in this report.
I want my son. I want to see my son for the last week. If y'all could help me, let me get my son. Send people for Sachi. I want him back.
Two cousins are missing and are feared dead after they went for a swim Monday morning on the Unity Mahaica foreshore. Feared dead are 10-year-old Timothy Yearwood and 14-year-old Timothy Robinson. Yearwood's tearful mother told Nightly News that she had gone out and had left her son in the care of his aunt. She later got word that her son had disappeared underwater after he went for a swim.
And I get a message that I find the other friend close, the cousin, close on the seawall. And when we go there, we didn't see nobody.
He got away from home,
Yes, he got away from home.
He went to go swim.
Yeah. I don't know. If I can't really say, I wasn't home. He get away from his aunt. My biggest fear, I ain't seen my son, I get the feelings like my son die. Like me like a sandbag.
Yearwood's aunt said that she had instructed her nephew to clean up the yard. She said he disobeyed her and went to the foreshore for a swim.
Like about 3 to 4 minutes, I ain't hearing no broom passing on the steps. I decided to peep through because the back door was closed. So I decided to peep through. When I peeped through, I ain't see him. So I shout out his name. I said, Timothy, Timothy. I ain't hear no answer. So I come to the front and look at the cupboard there to see if I see him. So when I looked there, I didn't see him. That was the last of it. About 11:30 to 12:30, somebody came in here and woke me up and asked me if I ain't overheard my nephew drowned. I said no. Well, it's a hypertension case. So right away, like, my pressure went up. So I told him, I said, can't make it there.
The cousins live a stone's throw away from each other. Timothy Robinson's mom spoke of the last time she saw her son.
When he meet, the cook-up was on the fire, drying. So I said, wait for me. We're going to make one thing one time. He eat and everything. And he said, Mommy, you're going to feed chicken. As normally, you help me feed me chicken and my duck. And I said, wait for me, Timothy. He said, Mommy, you feed chicken. I'm going to go, and I'm going to borrow Auntie Lally the bicycle, and I'm going to ride it and come out of the road and pick you up. And I come out, and I see, I just take a taxi, and I come in. And as I meet the bridge, I call fee. I said, where Dad there?
Let's call him.
Yeah, Dad, they call him. And his sister there in the bedroom there. She said, you just come and put on the bag, and you run out. So right away, I said, go in and dress now. I said, "Woi, there's my nephew. Go and call to your dad. Then tell dad to call him now."
Nightly News was told that 4 boys from the village, including Robinson and Yearwood, had gone for a swim, but only 2 of the boys returned. Police are set to be questioning the 2 boys in the presence of their parents. Robinson's mother said that she had sent another relative in search of Timothy, but he returned with the lad's clothing, which Timothy had worn on the day he went missing.
Different thing. Some people say he did playing ball. Some people say he went in a boat playing card. Some people say the little boy was bathing and Timothy, me son jumped free. Yeah. I say, in so fast, about half an hour ago, me told me say I believe them thing there. them to their hearing that daughter the peeling coconut. My son never go there. He never go there at the farther distance where he went. Me know what happened. You know what happened. You know what I know. Say, like I said, like somebody do me child something. I know what happened.
Several residents had gone out to sea in fishing boats in search of the children. Residents of Unity Mahaica and family members of Timothy Yearwood and Timothy Robinson have gathered once again on the Unity Mahaica foreshore in search of the children or whatever clues they can come up with. Reporting for HGP Nightly News from Unity Mahaica, the foreshore, I am Travis Chase. Nightly News will keep you updated as that story unfolds. Stay with us. There's more news ahead. HGP Nightly News. 4 men will stand a trial in the High Court in September for the murder of a Fowles businessman who they allegedly kidnapped and killed in 2014. More from Jevon Vickery.
The men who will stand trial are Dionath Katwaru, also known as Pumpkin, Tony Christopher Thomas, also known as Mataran, Michael Lewis called Jetley, and Adoni James called Don. During the trial, the men will be represented by attorneys at law Satyesh Kisoon, Bernard De Silva, Nigel Hughes, and Adrian Thompson, respectively. In addition, Tiffany Lykin, Narissa Leander, and Sita Bishundia will appear on behalf of the state. It is alleged that between April 5, 2014 and April 9, 2014, the quartet murdered East Coast businessman Rajendra Singh. The men were previously not required to plead to the indictable charge. Justice Brassington Reynolds informed the men that the trial for Singh's murder will commence on September 4 due to the fact that there are still pending matters before their case is heard. The spare parts auto dealer was reportedly kidnapped by 2 gunmen on April 5, 2014 at his Fowles East Coast Demerara business place. Police say his car was found abandoned in Goodforwacting, East Coast Demerara by his wife. The alleged kidnappers had initially demanded $50 million ransom from the family, but after negotiations, it was reduced to $25 million. The ransom was, however, not paid. Singh was later found dead with a bullet wound to the head in the Liverpentier Cemetery. Jevon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Jevon. The Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, with help from the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, is intensifying efforts to develop a national policy on the Geospatial Information System. It's a system through which all governments can get data when necessary. Various stakeholders met to kickstart discussion on the effort on Tuesday. More from Rodin James.
In the case of Guyana, it was explained that there is a need for an overarching statistical geospatial data integration framework. When both statistical information and geospatial information are integrated within a geospatial statistical framework, the resulting multidimensional information model can significantly improve the quality of official statistics and population census and the measuring and monitoring of the Sustainable Development Goals. As explained by Secretariat Manager of the Guyana Lands and Surveys Commission, Mr. Darwin Humphrey, the focus is on the transformational impact of geographic information systems. Speaking to Nightly News on the sidelines of the workshop on Tuesday, Mr. Humphrey explained the importance of the GIS systems.
I would say that GIS has tremendous potential for security, for health. If we're able to, for example, map where crimes take place, we are better able to help the work of police. If we're able to map where all the fire hydrants are, for example, we're able to help the fire service, and the list can go on and on. So we're here today. We've brought all the agencies in the room, and what we hope to have at the end of all of this is a policy that we can finalize and a roadmap as to how we will establish geographic information system frameworks in Guyana.
Generally, Humphrey said that there is an issue here as it relates to data sharing, as well as how institutions and agencies interact.
This is not only prevalent in this situation. This is simply a microcosm of what is happening across Guyana. If you speak to many of the policymakers, they will tell you, if we figure out a way to share information more regularly, a more robust platform for that, then we will be well on our way to solving the issue of development in Guyana. So information sharing is actually fundamental to this process that we're talking about today.
Regional Advisor on Geospatial Information Management for the Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, Mr. Olivera Monet, told Nightly News that in every country, geospatial information is critical, but in the case of Guyana, which is a small developing country, it is very crucial.
And it will be a very important tool for helping the national strategy. I understand it's named the Green State Strategy and Framework. So by having the geospatial information provided by different state organizations, it will be help the analysis of the territory and the best focus all the decision and programs of the government.
Earlier this year, Commissioner of the Lands and Surveys Commission, Mr. Trevor Ben, noted that plans are also in the train to undertake a comprehensive update of the maps of Guyana, which in some cases date back to the 50s and 60s. This process, which entails aerial mapping or satellite imagery, is costly, he had explained. As such, the Commission does not expect to be able to map the entire country, but specific regions. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
Your sportscast is